Are you sensing something but can't quite see it? Maybe something keeps getting in the way of you fully trusting it. Like there's a secret that's almost surfaced, almost said, almost yours to hold, but something happens before it comes to light. This reading isn't about what's hidden from you. It's about the secret that's already present and what's been sitting between you and it. The cards aren't delivering a message from somewhere else, from the unknown. They're going to show you what secret wants to come to light, what's blocking it from doing so, and what comes next once you let it through. These cards will offer the key, but it will be up to you to decide what to do with it. Take what feels correct, leave what does not. There are 3 soul paths for you to choose from today. Choose one or all 3. Timestamps are in the description. Let's get into your messages. For those who chose the Fates with number 17, this is going to be your message. So the Star card is coming through with this naturally. There's also something here about destiny or fate. Now, this may be something that you have to work towards and align yourself to. It may not show up on a silver platter or at your front door, but I feel like this is waiting for you. Whatever is fated, whatever is destined, is waiting for you to capture, to hold, to build capacity for, to move towards. So I almost feel like it's a secret, but it's something that is known to you at the same time, if that makes sense. So let's get into your messages today. And I was guided to use a deck that I don't usually use outside of October. So this fated thing or destined thing or purpose that you're moving towards might be something different than what you expect. So let's see, what is the secret about, dear Spirit, for Soul Path 1? I knew it. I knew the Star card was going to come out. They're both on their side, so we'll take them on their side. It means that they haven't been accessed yet. So they are available to you. And this is something to do with your future, some big vision that you might have that is in its infancy. But again, going back to that choice, this is something that you have to choose. You have to look beyond your current circumstances, beyond how you currently feel, and even step out of some kind of comfort zone here in order for you to capture that. There could be some fears holding you back. There could be some not enoughness holding you back. But this could also be circumstantial as well. There's definitely something here, though, of a higher purpose, of a higher nature, maybe something to do with giving back or being in service to others. But how do you receive help from others? How do you receive? What I'm getting from that is, in order for you to do the thing that you want to do, you have to be comfortable doing it for yourself, receiving it for yourself, doing it for yourself, whatever that might be. So let's see, what is blocking you from moving towards it, seeing it? We have the King of Swords in reverse. So there could be a lot of self-sabotaging decisions here, or something going on within the mind, your decision-making, something that is holding you back from making some kind of decision. Maybe there's a lack of confidence that you can't make a decision. Maybe there's a sense of not knowing if the decision that you're making is correct, so waiting for the right time. This can also be an impulsivity or an impulsiveness when it comes to decision making as well, and not considering all of the facts or the information. Maybe that's how you feel, is that you don't have all of the facts or the information to be able to make a clear decision. Maybe other people are involved as well. Now, the world is underneath that. So I do feel like this is a pretty big deal. It's not a decision that maybe is going to come easily or has come easily up until this point. But I feel there's a lack of clarity surrounding this fated thing, this destined thing. There could also be somebody around you that is being really critical about things right now, and that is preventing you from moving forward with clarity because there's a lot of static or a lot of noise coming from the external. But this could also be an internal critic as well, where you're overthinking, you're overanalyzing, you are being really self-critical about what you would like to do here. So how to move forward, what's next? Let's take a peek at that. How to move forward, what's next? Guidance, thank you. Judgment, had a feeling that would come out as well. This is rising above, again, coming back to that original, where did we talk about that? The Two of Wands here, this is kind of, again, another big deal. We've got a major arcana here. So it's kind of walking to the beat of your own drum and allowing yourself to do that without judgment and to move forward in a way that is truly your authentic truth. What is true to you? But this also means rising above any circumstances or people that may be getting in the way or creating static in your world right now. Now, the Judgment is also a trying again energy. It can be a forgiveness energy. So self-forgiveness could be really strong here. And being really soft on yourself when it comes to this thing that you feel you are destined to do. So this could be some kind of business that you'd like to open, some kind of travel that you'd like to do. And it feels like a big deal to you because it is so meaningful and purposeful, but to other people it may not make sense. So what is true for you? And can you make that happen relatively comfortably? We don't want to be impulsive with things and skirt any responsibility that we might have in this current moment. But lean into what you already know to be true for yourself outside of the noise, the static. And if you have tried this once before, this is a moment to try again. Try again and see what happens. Try again based on what you've learned in different circumstances. I feel like you have done a lot of soul searching. You've done a lot of work. And that's going to make the results, the outcome, the experience of whatever this is much different than before. So give yourself some credit. Give yourself a little bit of compassion, remove that non-judgment, remove that critical, overly critical thinking. And bottom of the deck, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. So you have gained some kind of perspective here. And if you're waiting for the right time, this message might be clarifying that right now is the right time to start reconsidering it again. Now, again, it could be circumstantial. I do want to get clarifiers on why these are sideways, because there could be a reason for that. So we'll do a quick card pull on these two. But I just feel with these two paired up, it just feels like trust what you know. Trust the work that you've put in. Trust your judgment. What is this star and the Two of Wands about, please? That one's on its side too. So, Seven of Cups. This is exactly what I was kind of feeling, the static. It's also emotional too. It's not just mental static. This is emotional static, where maybe you're trying to please too many people all at once. You're trying to please yourself, but also, what about my parents? What about my cousins? What about my friends? What about my partner? What about my kids? There's a lot of people's feelings that you might have to consider. So that could be why things are stalling. Things feel stuck. You have this clarity, but you don't really know what to do with it now because there is a lot of considerations. So I feel like there's this feeling of giving yourself time to move through this. And again, not be impulsive with anything, because there is something here that you have to work through. There could be some details that you have to work out. There could be some things that you have to remove, eliminate in order for you to create space for this new thing. And it might not be a decision that you make and everything changes in a day. This could be in the little incremental things that you do with how you spend your time, your resources, how you invest your time and resources, and what you invest in. So taking a step back to look at where you're at right now, how you're investing your time, and how that is in alignment with where you would like to go. So because this feels like a little bit of an adventure, I'm going to pull a final card for you for Soul Path 1. Soul Path 1, final message for this fated journey, I just feel it's a fated journey. Okay. Expect better things. Because right now I feel like you're waiting for the bottom to fall out. You're waiting for things to not happen. You're questioning, is this real? Is this true? Is this happening? Allow that to be okay. Allow the wonderful things to be okay. Allow opportunities to come your way without questioning them, without judging them. Flow with whatever is coming through, especially if it has to do with what you feel is for you. And this is just more clarity on the star card. I do feel, follow your bliss, follow your heart in any decision. Obviously consider the emotional things and the logical things, the responsible things, but don't give those so much weight that it pulls you away from the thing that you would like to do. Navigating by the stars to me is just, this is a path that you might have to take and trust. Trust the steps along the way, trust the process, trust yourself, because you might not have a full picture until you get into it, until you start walking the path a little bit more, and until certain pieces start to come together. But I do feel, because we're talking about stars again, because we're talking about miracles, whatever this is, you can tell me in the comments, but this feels pretty significant. It feels very special. It feels very beautiful. It feels very purposeful and meaningful for you. It's just a matter of working out some of the fine details and really leaning into trusting. So that is today's reflection, my dear Soul Path 1. Subscribe if you'd like to continue exploring these messages with me, and head into the description for more ways to connect. And with that, I'll see you in your next reading. For those who chose the higher power, this is going to be your message. And there is your key. This is feeling very cosmic. There's all of the messages I feel tonight are going to be, or today, are going to be about something very divinely guided, because the 3 soul paths that were randomly chosen just so happen to be very optimistic, very divinely guided, very cosmic in nature, very big, bold, and beautiful. So I feel yours has to do with maybe divine timing, or connecting in with your higher self, a higher power, something spiritual in nature, but also helping you create some kind of stability in your life. So that could be about your practices, and maybe even having like a divine encounter too. So let's take a peek at the secret for Soul Path 2. And I usually don't use this deck outside of October, but I was guided to use it today. It's because it felt magical, and all of the cards for the Soul Paths felt magical. Oh, I feel like I need to ground myself right now. So what is the secret for Soul Path 1? What is the secret? King of Swords in reverse. Okay, something about blocked communication, or somebody that wants to have it their way. I don't think that's you. That could be an external factor. I feel like you might be feeling that someone's not being truthful or honest with you. There could be that happening internally as well. Maybe there's something that you're not being honest with yourself about, and it's preventing you from making a decision or clearly communicating or acting upon something here. This could also be inner critic or criticism coming from other people. I might have to get clarifiers on that. I do want to get one more card. Second card. Okay. 3 of Swords. Oh. Okay. So I feel this has to do with somebody that you are connected to. It could be a partner. It could be a boss. It could be somebody within your family unit, specifically as we're talking about number 4s. The 4th house is family. It is stability. It is home environments. And there's something here that I feel is there's an avoidance. Yeah. Okay. I just want to talk about this because I feel that somebody's not telling you the truth. Maybe you're avoiding saying some kind of truth to somebody. There's definitely a truth happening, or a lack of truth, a lack of honesty, a lack of communication, a block to doing so, because we have all swords here. And all of these swords are in a bit of a detriment, a bit of a challenging position here, because the King of Swords in reverse can be a little bit of like quick, impulsive, my way or the highway, or a hiding of something here. Not being totally truthful, not being totally clear. This is giving me narcissistic vibes. I'll just put that out there. And the 3 of Swords is either an avoidance to moving through some kind of heartbreak. Like I'm avoiding something. I'm avoiding that heartbreak. I'm avoiding telling my truth, and I have to hide my truth. And that would make sense in a relationship with a narcissist and with somebody that you can't be honest with, because it's always used against you. Really sticky energy. Yeah. And you keep maybe having to defend yourself. So I think this feels, I don't want to validate, because that can be unhelpful sometimes. But I do feel like this is clarifying or confirming something for somebody, that you may have to share your truth even if your voice shakes, and really be honest with yourself about something, because it could potentially move things forward for you. Now, if you are in an unsafe connection or an unsafe environment, you'll have to find more support to help you there. But if you're not saying something out of fear, if you're not saying something because there is a vulnerability there, or you're avoiding something, then I feel like that is what you need to address, or that is the secret that needs to be revealed, is maybe how you truly feel and what decisions you would like to make moving forward. So what is blocking you from seeing it? We'll see what comes out. I can't say in specific. Yeah, vulnerability. The Page of Cups. So your inner child may feel threatened here. There is a very sensitive child within. There could also be children involved as well. Yeah, it feels very sticky. Whatever this is, it feels very sticky. So let's just keep going. What's next? Let's help Soul Path 2 move through this. What's next? How can Soul Path 2 move through this? Maybe you don't want to break your heart either. King of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, this is getting uncomfortable. And then Page of Wands in the upright. What do you want to create for yourself here? I feel like I need to cover that king's face. I don't know why. Yeah, this is like the King of Pentacles in reverse. What is next is getting a little uncomfortable. And this could mean getting into a different environment. and feeling really uncomfortable with that. Maybe having to leave a company and try to find other work because it's just not healthy for you. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your mindset. It might be good for the finances, but in all other aspects of health and well-being, it's just maybe not working. So figuring out where you might need to get uncomfortable to share some kind of truth, to not avoid saying the thing that needs to be said, the honesty, staying in your integrity, protecting that inner child. Now there's two inner children here. One is a little bit of a vulnerable, more sensitive inner child. And the other is an inner child that is open to adventure. They want to explore. They want to move with their intuition. They are willing to take a little bit of risk. And that's the lovely thing about the children of the tarot, is that they don't really care too much about how they look, about whether or not they make mistakes. They are open to the journey. They are open to learning. They are open to moving and playing and expressing without too much thought about what if. So I feel like there is an energy here that's wanting to encourage you to be a little bit more curious about what would happen if I did this, if I didn't overthink, if I just made the decision that I feel is correct, if I didn't avoid the heartbreak or the discomfort that needs to happen in order for something to shift or change. The stability or the dynamic might have to be shaken in order for you to see progress, to see movement, momentum, change. Because we're trusting something that we cannot see, feel, hear, touch. But that's what that King of Pentacles in reverse is kind of letting go of what we maybe need to let go of, that maybe has created a sense of stability or comfort or identity in order to move towards something, maybe rebuild something that we don't quite see yet, but we're at this edge of building it, creating it. That's a really scary place to be. But how else can you get support? Too, we can't just, hope sometimes that things will just work out. We have to have structures in place. Maybe we have to have other ways to support ourselves. Maybe we have to come up with a plan or a strategy in order to move ourselves forward so that we have a little more readiness to move when it comes time. We've got the beginner's mindset coming through yet again. That page mindset, that childlike mindset coming in again with begin now, take your first step. Yeah, it's not about seeing the entire path ahead. It's not about seeing the destination off in the distance. It's about knowing the changes that you have to make, the shifts you have to make, the adaptations you have to make, the decision that you have to make, the truth you have to tell in order for you to move forward. And just do that one small thing. It may not, require you to do everything right in this moment, but start with those little steps. How do I want to feel? Where do I want to go from here? What step would feel most exciting, most creative, most aligned? Choosing your path, all is possible. Yet another kind of energy of starting. And I love that this person in both of these cards, they're ready. So there is a preparedness, there is a protection here, but there's also a willingness to get out of the thing that's no longer working for you and supporting yourself through whatever grief you might have to share, whatever difficult truth you might have to tell someone. This is leaning into new possibilities, one small step at a time. So that is today's reflection. My dear Soul Path 2, subscribe if you'd like to continue exploring these messages with me, and head into the description for more ways to connect. And with that, I'll see you in your next reading. For those who chose new life, this message is going to be for you. I feel like this is like a dawn of something new. May not be an entirely new life, but it's like you're cracking open to something new. And I feel this comes after a period of darkness, dark times of incubation, metaphorically speaking. And now you have this freedom to stretch, to move, to experience the world in a new way. So this could be about your mindset, and maybe you've learned something about yourself along this journey. Maybe you are doing something new, expressing in a new way, dressing in a new way, sharing in a new way, and just waking up to something. Maybe you've gone through some kind of an awakening, and so now your eyes are open to a brand new life. I almost feel like there's some of you here that are feeling like you've gone through this awakening and you want a new life, like the life that you currently have no longer fits. So it's like you're stretching into this new identity, or maybe have returned to self in some way. So let's see, what is this secret message about? Is about 5 of Wands, and what is the secret? Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a new opportunity here. It's like, it's giving me the feeling of being pushed out of the nest. Because the 5 of Wands is that kind of pressured situation among people, groups, communities. Can also be, disagreements of you're all trying to build the same thing, but you all have a different process and a different way of doing it. So it's this kind of competing to be seen, competing to be heard. And it's almost like you're breaking out of that, I don't want to say combative feeling, but it's like you have stepped completely outside of the tension. It's like, why do I have to do it in this way? I'm going to do it my way. And so you've almost created some kind of new opportunity for you based on what you don't want to participate in. But there could also be you may have also had some challenging conversations around what it is that you're doing. So the secret is that there's definitely something new that you're entering, but it's something that you have to nurture and foster. It's not something that you just sit back and attain. The Pentacle is an energy of needing to commit yourself for the long term. So this isn't about flash in the pan success. And you may already realize that, but this is about you having focus on what's most important, why it's important, and committing yourself, putting the time and the energy, maybe the financial investment towards this, to be able to build it up over a period of time. So the potential is here, and it's almost as if you've decided to shift directions. So where you found yourself before, you were having a lot of conversations with people, and maybe that's the choice or the path here. It's like you can continue to have these conversations and kind of spin your wheels, or you could choose a new path that is unknown yet, or a new path that needs to be built. So it's kind of forging your own way here. You can either fight in the ring or forge your own path. So what is blocking you from seeing it right now? This could be a business reading too, or a career reading. Ooh, yes. So many options, so little time. So you could be a multi-passionate person, but you could also be considering a lot of people's feelings, where it's like, but I want to do this and I want to do that, but then there's also this other thing or this other person that I have to consider in their feelings too, which is emotional confusion, because it's fogging how you truly feel or what you truly desire, because you're trying to combine too many things here. So what's fogging your way could be all of the things that you're trying to consider and integrate into this decision or into this pathway. But I also feel that this is about you being multi-passionate and wanting to do multiple things. Maybe in your career or business. Maybe in your life. So this is giving me bucket list energy. Sorry about the dogs in the background. My neighbor just got home. Give me a sec. Okay, let's see if we can get through this. What is next? I'll try to block out the barks as best I can, folks. See, there's noise, right? There's noise in being able to move forward. 10 of Swords in reverse is what's next or how to navigate this. Something has come to a natural end. Yeah. With the 8 of Swords at the bottom of that. So there's a lot of thinking going on. There's a lot of mental processes happening within the mind. And it's like you're trying to make sense of it or trying to contain it, trying to understand it so that you can execute in a very clear way, clear-cut way. I don't know if that's possible. So it is understanding what kind of mental blocks are in the way currently and how you might relieve those blocks or release those blocks or really understand what they're trying to tell you. Because right now, where you are currently, or maybe where you've come from, there's this energy of playing small or feeling small or stuck. And it could be related to mental health or something that you're moving through cognitively. But it could also be looking at the ways that you have stopped yourself from doing what it is that you desire. Maybe because of how other people feel, or maybe what you feel obligated to do, but don't really feel aligned in doing it. So your next step or the guidance in moving through this is to really get honest about the things that have come to an end, possibly a painful end, and grieving those things, feeling those things, understanding that they have to go in order for you to move forward. There's also a level of healing here. So this could be healing in the mental health realm, healing within the body. There could be some pain that you're working through within the body. And finding ways to work through those pains, finding ways to heal, to recover, to rest, to give your mind a little bit of a respite and open yourself to possibility. And with the 8 of Swords here, there could be a lot of limiting beliefs getting in your way. So working on those limiting beliefs, seeing if they are true, understanding them on a deeper level. Where do they show up in your body? How do they affect your decisions in life? How do they keep you staying small or preventing you from moving forward into the life that you would like to create? And what are the emotions that these thoughts trigger in you that maybe fuel the cycle, the mental loops, the feelings of stuckness, the feelings of limitation? What are some other possibilities that you can explore here and open yourself up to? Because I feel this new life is going to ask of you to have a different way of working, thinking, and feeling. So it means having to allow yourself to let go of the ways that have kept you from this goal or desire, working through those. Because those are the things that are going to get in your way. When you come across challenges or obstacles, those automatic thought loops are going to come in and be like, hey, wait, we've done this before. Or we haven't done this before. And then that's when the fears and the doubts come through, the imposter, the critic. So what are the new choices that you can make to say, actually, no, we don't actually know if this is going to work out. We don't actually know if this is going to end the same way or end at all. I mean, that's the nature of life, endings and beginnings. But I do feel there is a strong ending here, something that could have been quite painful, challenging, but also there's a new beginning here. Ascending the mountain. I love that. But this also feels like I almost feel a bit of an exhale, like, like I gotta keep going. But I feel like the experience is going to be different because it just feels like you're a new person seeing life in a new way, moving in a different way. And so therefore your results and your outcomes are going to be different. So yeah, it is about continuing to ascend the mountain because you're going to learn more and you're going to have different views, better views. So it's not about stopping. It's about doing something in a new way and seeing what happens, leading with curiosity and wonder. And look at that. Transformation. Look at that. A fresh new way of living emerges. I love it because it comes back to this. And it's very similar energy where this phoenix is rising from the ashes. I feel like this is you. So the question now becomes not, am I capable? Am I going to answer the call? Am I going to move forward with, I'm going to take that because I want that for you. Am I going to answer the call? Am I going to allow my thoughts and the things that aren't benefiting me, the inner critic, am I going to let that stop me from moving forward and continuing to climb, to ascend, to move forward? So that is today's reflection, my dear Soul Path 3. Subscribe if you'd like to continue exploring these messages with me, and head into the description for more ways to connect. And with that, I will see you in your next reading.